Hi guys, it's John back again with another final reveal video. Today is something, this particular project I did is something of a bit of a strange one, because I wanted to do something a little bit different when I built these two kits. Yes, two kits. This is the companion build that I did, comparing the first early tool of the Airfix Messerschmitt BF109G6 and the new tool, Hornby Productions Airfix Messerschmitt BF109G6. One kit is about 50 years old mould, and the other kit is about 5 or 6 years old mould, not very old at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you to a little challenge, because this companion build really shocked me. And I can honestly say, I mean, I've said it many times in box reviews, that I've never found an Airfix kit that's released by Hornby Productions that I've not liked and that I've not thought was absolutely superb until now. The retooling of the ME109G6 by Hornby, in my opinion, is not that much of an improvement over the old tool. And in actual fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you, I'm going to let you look at these two kits together, and I'm going to ask you which one you thought was the old tool and which one was the new tool. Is it the first one I'm going to put into the picture, or the second? Here we go. That's number one. Just slide this to one side. And there's number two. So, which one's the new tool and which one's the old tool? I'll even turn them around for you so that you've got a little bit of an idea. I painted these two kits up in an incredibly similar way because I wanted to see just how much of an improvement the new tool was over the old tool. And in my opinion, I think you'll be hard pressed to tell. The one that's actually yellow 6 is the new tool, and yellow 3 is the old tool. And I think you'll agree that when these kits are painted up in a similar manner, I mean, have a look at the undersides. There's the old tool. It's not bad, is it? You know, I would give them, compared with other models in 72nd scale, I would give Airfix 7 out of 10 for that. It wasn't bad. And the only reason I'm giving Airfix 8 out of 10 for this one is because the general finish of the plastic and the detail on the mouldings and the way in which the actual features of the ME109 are actually produced on this particular kit are slightly better. I mean, the wheel wells, they're a bit more detailed. The exhaust stubs are a little bit better on the new tool. The propeller is slightly better, and the undercarriage legs they have that little bit of a better look about them. The cockpit is actually superb. I must admit, the cockpit is superb. But there's just something unusual about the propeller. The propeller on the new tool kit, I don't know what it is, but the one on the old tool kit is definitely more accurate. I've seen photos of BF109G6s, and the only thing I can suggest is that Airfix have used the refurbished BF109G that's actually in flying condition in Europe at the moment to produce the propeller, because the propeller on the refurbished flying condition plane isn't an original 109 propeller. But the ones of pictures from World War II, they look a lot like that. Very different. The actual blades themselves are thinner, they're not paddle style. And that would be true because paddle style propellers are really used for low level work. They're required to turn slower and produce the same amount of thrust because you've got more air at lower altitude than you have at higher altitude. And high altitude propellers tend to be thinner and less pronounced. The paddle style is definitely not apparent, and the props turn faster. They're geared to the engine on a lower ratio, so the propellers turn faster to move more air at a higher speed. And that is why the 109G6, which was actually a bomber destroyer, required to get up to about 40,000 feet in order to attack its bomber streams. They had that style of propeller, whereas the new version, the new aircraft would probably require a paddle propeller, because most of the time the aircraft isn't flying above 10,000 feet, is it? Let's be honest with you. I mean, it's no point in going to an air show and do an air show display at 20,000, 30,000 feet, because nobody'd see it. Right. Overall impressions. I found, as you'll see in the build progress video, I found that when I was building these two kits, they built up in virtually exactly the same way. The detail in the interior, there wasn't much of an improvement on the new toolkit. The propeller, the build on the propeller, very little difference. The undercarriage was slightly different, but not an awful lot. And the planform on the main wings was slightly different. And again, I'm not sure which is the more correct, because there aren't many views of 109s banking over or peeling off, or they tend to be just side views taken from other aircraft in the formation. So it's very difficult to ascertain which is the more correct planform for the wing. But that's the old tool planform for the wing there, and that's the new tool planform for the wing. And as you can see, they're a little bit different, aren't they? And also the position of the German cross there. You know, according to the Airfix kit, that's the correct position. But according to the old tool Airfix kit, that's the correct position. And that looks more right, doesn't it? It looks more like the way it should be. I'm not 100% sure that the crosses for the upper surfaces of the wing should have the black bars as well. I do believe that they should only have had the white bars like the new tool kit does, like that. But I think they should have been further out, which is a shame. I didn't purposely build the Fighter Aces aircraft, but I used the decals off the kit in order to just give you an idea of the difference in the decals. And if you're wondering where the swash stickers come from, the swash stickers definitely did not come in the kit. I got them in an aftermarket decal sheet for a different aircraft kit with lots and lots of different swash stickers on, and I've put the white ones on this one. Just basically to make it easier for me to actually tell which one is which. But the cockpit on the old toolkit is definitely not as good as the new toolkit, but it's still not bad, is it? And the pilot figure in the old toolkit, in my opinion, is a nicer looking pilot. I don't know if you can see him very easily in there. I'm hoping you can. I wish this thing would stop telling me things are going on eBay. The pilot's in there, you can see him, he's alright. And the pilot is a little bit more visible in this one, and I think it's because the cockpit is just a lot better. The cockpit frame is it's a finer framed finer framed cockpit canopy, and it just looks better on the new toolkit. But apart from that, I mean, I was really disappointed in a lot of the parts on this model because I didn't think there were any improvement over the old kit whatsoever. And that oil cooler that sticks out from the engine cowling, that could have been bored open. I don't understand why Airfix didn't do that. I fitted the 30mm cannons on the underside of the wings because I just thought, you know, it looked quite nice, and I put the old tool anti-bomber rockets onto there because I thought they looked quite good as well. Colours I painted this kit, I painted the kit in Wehrmacht underside blue. It's a sort of a very, very deep bluey grey colour for the underside, and it's quite nice, very nice. But it was often a colour used in the Italian campaign by German aircraft. And the top colours were acrylic colours. They were medium sea grey and actually tank grey, Tamiya acrylic colours, probably equivalent to matte 27 and matte 67 in the Humbrol range. But I used acrylic colours for the upper surfaces. And for those guys who are a bit apprehensive about doing German dapple, I didn't go mental on this. I just wanted to give it a dapple sort of look. And you basically just use a dry dab finish onto the side of the fuselage. Some people go, you know, pedantic about it and actually get a dappling brush where it's circular at the end and you can actually just put the little dapple pops in. And some people use a spray brush on a very fine setting to produce a dapple effect. The transfers on the new toolkit went on fantastic. They were absolutely fantastic. But I'll be honest with you, the transfers on the old toolkit rather, they didn't go on that bad either. I mean, these transfers were probably the best part of 35 years old, because this was a red stripe blister pack released around about 1973. So I'm guessing they were about 35, maybe 34 years old, something like that. There's not a lot of sheen on them, is there? And they lied beautiful, no problems. They did not disintegrate. There's no issues whatsoever. Even the underside ones, no issues whatsoever. Beautiful. They went on perfect. So, there you go. Recommendations for these kits. Well, I'll be honest with you. If you want to build the Airfix New Tool 109G6, have a bash at it. It is a nice kit. It's not as terrible as a lot of modelers are made out, but it's not that much of an improvement over the old Tool 109G6. The old Tool 109G6 it's still a half decent kit. And I don't know. I really don't know that the old Tool. It still looks like a 109G6 when you pack it next to the next one. It doesn't look, there's nothing took away from it. The cockpit, I think, on the old toolkit is slightly too high. The new Tool 109 cockpit definitely looks correct. The canopy looks the bee's knees, but the propeller spinners and props on the new Tool one, I'm not so sure. I think the old Tool one is definitely more accurate. So yeah, if you want to build the old toolkit, go ahead and build the old toolkit. I still enjoyed building the old toolkit. I thought it went together quite nicely, and the finished result, in my opinion, is not that much reduced from the new toolkit. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's probably better kits even now out there that are older than this release. Models of particular interest. The Academy kit is supposed to be half decent. It's supposed to be a better option than the Airfix new tool. I've not built the Academy kit, but that's the gen on the internet. But anyway, recommendations, yeah, have a bash at either. I don't think either is not. I don't think the old tool kit is not worth building. I think it's definitely worth building. It still can offer the modeler something interesting to build. The new toolkit just gives you the edge on the finish of the plastic and the airframe itself. It just has that slightly better finish on the plastic parts, and the engraved panel lines are more defined, which is nice. So anyway, put some comments. Tell me what you think of these two kits in comparison build. I'll be very interested to hear your comments and see what you think. So that's it for this companion build final reveal on the Airfix BF109G6 in 1/72 scale. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for tuning in, and any questions I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for now, see you again, bye bye.